Hey, Eric Sider here, and I just finished round 2 on the urban chicken tractor on steroids. So another finished compost pile going out to the garden. Now, we just had a couple days of rain, so everything is very waterlogged and very heavy. So I'm not going to bother sifting it. It's just going to go all out to the garden, chunks and all. The garden won't care, the organisms won't care, and the worms will be happy for some very good food to incorporate into the existing soil. Now, I didn't film any of this second round. Basically, in this video, I'm just going to go over some observations, some slight adjustments I've made since the first round. And if you haven't seen that playlist, I'll link to the end. The whole process from newborn chicks to finished compost in a month. So the biggest change for the second round was after talking with Jeff Lawton, the master chef of compost himself. I decided to do from 4 weeks to 5 weeks, so 35-day process, and just to ensure the weed seeds are processed a bit better and any residual herbicides are well and truly processed through. So I know there's a lot of fear about herbicides continuing through the compost process, but from what we've observed, if it's a good compost process, it shouldn't be an issue. So either proper 18-day compost or a 35-day chicken tractor on steroids. The other thing I noticed is since this round, I made sure all the straw was well shredded, so that helped a lot through processing. A few other things. I made some improvements to the chicken run, so I'll go over those as well. All right, spread some compost and check out the improvements. All right, so the biggest adjustment, the most necessary one, was widening this door. The door that comes with this kit is pretty useless. I mean, it might be, I think it's about 18 inches wide, so definitely can't get a wheelbarrow through there or barely yourself. So fortunately, the diameter of the metal pipe that makes up this kit was just big enough to fit a 3/4 inch piece of conduit inside. So you can see, so I cut this piece. Now these have these little quick release buttons that attach this whole thing to itself. So this is a piece of 3/4 inch conduit that fit just inside, and then a couple screws just to secure it. So that was easy enough just to widen out, and same thing on the bottom, widen that out. Just an extra bit of bracing here with this piece of wood because this is not the most secure structure. So that just plumbed up the door a bit. And also this latch here is pretty useless too, even though I did install it on the wrong side, so that's my fault. But I went ahead and did kind of your normal closing latch. Now again, being that this is, I probably really need like a proper framed up structure to make that work better, but just got some pieces of plywood to attach that to. So for the most part, it's working well, but I do need I need an extra thing on the outside because my dog loves charging the fence, and the door did pop open once, and there was a rooster got out, and fortunately nothing major happened, but so yeah, not the most secure. And then around back is the other major addition. So since this is where the cage is, I just added this little window. Definitely not anything elegant at all. At the moment, it's just got some zip ties, cable ties, and obviously that's not a durable solution, but that way I got a nice open window to throw the daily foraging and material into the cage. And this definitely can be refined for sure, but at the moment it's working fine. What else? Yeah, I did have a barrier so the chickens couldn't hop up on the roof, but since there's not a lot of sun inside the footprint of the pen, I took that away, so if they want to get up in the sun, they can hop up there. Obviously, it makes for a very messy roof because wherever chickens hang out, they poop, so I'll just have to make sure I keep cleaning that off. And that's pretty much it. Just a couple additions, making this structure a bit more usable. I will say, as I mentioned in the first set of videos, the tapered vertical section of this makes it a bit awkward to actually use the fork to move the compost around. So if I was going to do a more permanent version of this, I would definitely go for straight sides, or at minimum a couple feet taller before it tapers or curves in. So there is the compost pile, pretty well saturated. It definitely making sure all the straw was shredded, I think helped out a lot for making it process. Now it's still nowhere near as complete as a 18-day compost, but it's definitely very good and truly processed enough for the garden. All right, so I'm gonna get that, set up the new cage, and be back in business. All right, so I'm on wheelbarrow number 3 at the moment, so I just wanted to show where all this goodness is going. So this is going to be the main chicken garden, and you can see I've very generously applied the compost. It's probably about 3 or 4 inches of compost there, which I'm in a very good position. I have more compost than I need at the moment, which is a great advertisement for this system. So here we got basically every bed that's not growing is just getting loaded up with compost. And if nothing else, I mean, if I don't grow a single plant on these beds, I'll be growing worms, because everywhere I dig in, there's worms. So benefit of using cardboard as your weed suppression, it basically becomes worm food. I mean, look at this. This is like 100% worm castings. This is all that was here was sweet potatoes. Look at that, just worms, 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 worms. So wormy worms. It is looking good. All right, so compost is spread. Ended up with 4 full wheelbarrows of some very heavy, very waterlogged compost, but the garden will be happy. And ended up leaving maybe 2 full wheelbarrows on the ground here. Decided to save my back the strain there, and it'll just go to inoculate the next pile. As far as any updates on the foraging and the commercial feed, so until the chickens start laying, I'm going to just keep them on the half ration of commercial feed and the foraging that I do. So 1/8 of a pound per bird per day. And that way I can it's mostly just to keep it simplified, eliminate as many variables as I can. So once they do start laying, I can play with the amount and see how much I can get away with. And then, you know, if I want to, I can always go supplement the foraging feed with food scraps. All right, brand new shirt in the store. Of all the problems people love to worry about, if we don't fix the soil erosion one, nothing else is going to matter. So links for that, as well as if you're in need of permaculture consultation and design, will be below. And I will link to the playlist if you haven't seen the first round of this amazing chicken compost fertility engine machine. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.